The Whispering Woods, October 31st, 1995. The overcast sky blended eerily with the desolate landscape of the Whispering Woods. Local legends spoke of the woods with a mixture of reverence and fear, warning outsiders of its deceiving tranquility. A group of 5 friends, eager to test their courage and mock the tales, decided to camp there for Halloween night. They were Lucy, the brave and outspoken leader; Mark, the skeptic; Hannah, the bookworm; Jake, the prankster; and Eliza, the quiet observer. Each had their reason to venture into the woods, but none truly understood the gravity of their decision. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, the air grew colder, and an unsettling silence enveloped them. It wasn't long before Eliza, trailing a bit behind, stumbled upon a half-buried weather diary. Its leather cover was worn, and its pages yellowed with age. "Guys, look at this," she exclaimed, holding it up. The group gathered around, curiosity piqued. Mark, ever the skeptic, chuckled, probably a prop from a previous Halloween stunt. Lucy, taking the diary from Eliza, began to leaf through it. "It looks real," she murmured. The entries spoke of a simple life, turning gradually to pages filled with dread and terror. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the woods, the group felt a chill that wasn't just from the cold. With the discovery of the diary, the legends of the Whispering Woods didn't seem so laughable anymore. Little did they know, their night was only beginning. Lucy, with the diary clutched in her hands, began reading aloud to the group. The entries started innocently enough. June 15th, 1953. "We've moved into the house in the woods. It's peaceful here, birds chirping, the scent of pine in the air." But as the pages turned, the tone shifted. July 7th, 1953. "I feel eyes on me, always from the woods. Father says it's just the animals, but I know better." Another entry read, July 20th, 1953. "The whispers at night won't stop. They call my name. Emily, Emily." Hannah, always the logical one, interjected, "It sounds like she was having hallucinations. Isolation can do that." Jake, unable to resist a prank, whispered, "Emily," earning him an elbow from Mark. Lucy continued, August 3rd, 1953. "I saw him today, a shadowy figure at the edge of the woods, his eyes at the... They glowed. I'm scared." The final entry was the most disturbing. August 10th, 1953. "He's coming for me. The whispers are loud now. I have to hide." The diary ended abruptly, the following pages torn out or perhaps never filled. Eliza, her face pale, murmured, "Do you think she..." Mark, ever the voice of skepticism, scoffed, "It's just a diary, probably a kid's idea of a joke." But as the campfire's flames flickered and the woods around them seemed to grow denser, a shared unease settled over the group. The diary, with its haunting entries, was a tangible link to the legends they'd scoffed at. They were no longer certain of their safety amidst the whispering trees. The morning sun sliced through the canopy, casting dappled light on the campsite. Despite the brightening day, the eerie feeling from the night before lingered. Lucy, clutching the diary, voiced the thought that had haunted their dreams. "We should find Emily's house." Jake, attempting to lighten the mood, quipped, "And do what? Ask the ghost for some sugar?" Ignoring him, Hannah added, "There might be historical significance to it, or at least clues about what really happened." Eliza hesitated, her eyes scanning the woods. "Are we sure about this? The diary? It's unsettling." Mark, ever the anchor, said, "It's just an old house. What's the worst that could happen?" Guided by descriptions from the diary, they ventured deeper into the woods. Hours seemed to blend together as they navigated the dense underbrush and twisted trees. It was Mark, the most skeptical among them, who first caught sight of the decaying structure. "There it is," he whispered, pointing towards a time-worn house nearly swallowed by the forest. The house, with its boarded windows and ivy-covered walls, bore silent testimony to years of neglect. The front door, slightly ajar, beckoned them. Inside they found remnants of a life long abandoned, faded photographs, dusty furniture, and a child's toy lying forlorn on the floor. Jake, picking up a photo, remarked, "It's Emily, look." In the black and white photograph, a young girl with wide, fearful eyes stared back at them. Behind her, barely noticeable, was the faint silhouette of a tall, shadowy figure. The weight of the diary's words pressed heavily on them. The house, with its lingering memories, seemed to whisper secrets from the past. Curiosity now mingled with dread, as they realized they were standing at the heart of the legend. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the woods transformed. Shadows stretched long and menacing, and the house, already old and weary, seemed to age decades in mere moments. The cheerful chirping of birds was replaced by the haunting hoot of an owl, and the rustling of leaves signaled the awakening of nocturnal creatures. "I think we've seen enough," Eliza murmured, her voice quivering slightly. "Let's head back." But the woods had other plans. The familiar path they had taken earlier seemed to have vanished, replaced by a tangled maze of trees and thorns. Their attempts to retrace their steps only led them deeper into the forest's embrace. Hannah, panic evident in her voice, said, "We're lost. We should have marked our path." Lucy, trying to rally the group, responded, "We'll find our way back. We just need to stick together." But as darkness enveloped them, a new sound emerged. Faint whispers eerily reminiscent of those described in Emily's diary. They seemed to float from all directions, unintelligible and yet strangely beckoning. Jake, attempting to mask his fear with humor, joked, "Maybe the woods are just trying to tell us a bedtime story." His jest fell flat when Mark, pale and wide-eyed, whispered, "Did anyone else see that?" Following his gaze, the group caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure darting between the trees, its glowing eyes fixed intently on them. The chilling realization hit them. They were not alone in these woods. Lucy clutched the diary close, as if it were a shield. "We need to find shelter," she urged. Desperate to escape the pursuing figure and the haunting whispers, the friends stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin. With no other options, they barricaded themselves inside, praying for the safety of Dawn. Within the confines of the creaky cabin, every sound was magnified: a gust of wind, the distant hoot of an owl, the erratic beating of their own hearts. The air was thick with tension and the weight of the unknown. Suddenly, a soft thud echoed outside, followed by the dragging sound of something or someone. Mark, trying to maintain composure, whispered, "It might just be an animal." But Eliza, her eyes wide with terror, responded, "Animals don't whisper." The chilling murmurs grew louder, now accompanied by the soft scratch of nails against wood. The shadowy figure seemed to be circling the cabin, searching for a way in. In a desperate bid to escape, Jake found a loose floorboard. "A cellar," he exclaimed, lifting it to reveal a dark, cobweb-filled space below. "We can hide." Without a second thought, they descended into the murky darkness, sealing the entrance behind them. The cellar, damp and suffocating, provided a temporary refuge. As hours dragged on, the eerie stillness was punctuated by the occasional creak above them, the unmistakable sound of footsteps. The figure was inside the cabin. Lucy, clutching the diary, read a passage aloud to distract from the fear. It was a chant, a plea for protection against the spirits of the woods. The friends, desperate for any semblance of safety, repeated the words in hushed unison. Suddenly there was silence. The footsteps ceased and the whispers faded. Tentatively, Hannah peeked through a crack in the floorboards. "It's gone," she whispered with relief. But their ordeal was far from over. As they emerged from the cellar, they realized two things. Their belongings were scattered and torn, and Jake was missing. The woods had claimed its first victim. Dawn's first light painted the woods in muted hues of gold and crimson. The beauty of the morning stood in stark contrast to the night's horrors. The cabin, which had been their sanctuary, now felt like a tomb, its silence echoing the absence of Jake. Mark, his voice shaking, managed to say, "We need to find him." Lucy nodded in agreement, tightly gripping the diary. "We stick together. We don't split up, no matter what." Emerging from the cabin, the forest appeared deceptively serene. Birds sang their morning songs, and the breeze carried the earthy scent of pine. But the group knew better than to be fooled by the facade. As they began their search, they stumbled upon a clearing. In its center stood a gnarled ancient tree. At its base, a makeshift grave marked by stones. Placed atop it was the diary, its pages fluttering in the wind. Eliza, tears streaming down her face, whispered, This is where she was buried, Emily." Hannah, kneeling by the grave, noticed something even more unsettling. "These aren't just Emily's," she murmured, pointing to multiple mounds around the tree. The clearing was a burial ground. Lucy, summoning courage, opened the diary to its final pages. Inside, in a fresh scrawl that was unmistakably Jake's, read, "They are here. The whispers. The shadows. I understand now. The woods need souls to silence the voices." A collective dread settled over the group. They weren't just facing the spirit of Emily, but countless souls trapped within the whispering woods. As the weight of their predicament bore down on them, a chilling realization dawned. The woods were alive, hungry, and they were its prey. The sun, now high in the sky, cast a glaring light upon the clearing, revealing the full horror of their situation. The group, heartbeats in sync with their mounting fear, stood frozen. From the dense thicket emerged a figure, ethereal and familiar. It was Emily, but not as the young girl in the photograph. She appeared older, her face a mix of sorrow and malevolence. Behind her, like a shadow, lurked other figures, including the hauntingly recognizable form of Jake. Lucy, clutching the diary to her chest, found her voice. "Why are you doing this? We meant no harm." Emily's voice, a whispery echo, responded, "The woods are hungry, they always have been. I tried to appease them, but it was never enough." Mark, anger and desperation evident, retorted, "So you trap souls? For what? To keep you company?" A melancholic smile played on Emily's lips. "Not by choice, I was the first, but the woods demanded more. Each soul brings momentary peace, but it's never lasting." Eliza, tears in her eyes, asked, "What about Jake? Can't you let him go?" Jake's figure stepped forward, his eyes void of recognition. "The woods have me now," he murmured, his voice distant. A standoff ensued. The trapped souls, led by Emily, on one side, and the friends united by desperation, on the other. Lucy, with newfound determination, began reciting the chant from the diary, urging the others to join. The words, filled with power and hope, resonated through the clearing. The spirits wavered, their forms flickering. Emily, her face contorted in pain, screamed, "Stop!" But the friends continued, their combined voices rising, challenging the malevolent force of the woods. The confrontation had begun. The chant grew louder, a beacon of hope against the oppressive darkness of the whispering woods. The ground trembled, and the very air crackled with energy as the spirits and the friends clashed in a battle of wills. Amidst the chaos, a shimmering portal opened, revealing a pathway out of the woods. Lucy, her voice unwavering, shouted, "Now, we need to leave!" But as they rushed towards the portal, the spirits, in a final desperate move, lunged at them. Mark, pulling Eliza and Hannah close, charged forward, breaking through the spectral barrier. But just as they neared the portal's threshold, a forceful tug pulled Eliza back. Hannah, reaching out, screamed, "Eliza!" But Lucy, understanding the grave stakes, pulled Hannah through the portal, which snapped shut behind them, leaving the woods and their horrors on the other side. Gasping for breath, the trio found themselves on the outskirts of the whispering woods, the town's lights visible in the distance. The forest from this vantage seemed just like any other, but they knew better. Silently, they mourned the loss of Jake and Eliza, the wood's latest victims. But with the diary in their possession, they also held the key to ensuring no one else would suffer their fate. Weeks later, a memorial was erected at the forest's edge, a warning of the dangers within. The diary, sealed in a glass case, stood as a testament to their harrowing ordeal. The whispering woods remained, its legends growing with time. But thanks to the bravery of the friends, its siren call was silenced, at least for now. The escape was complete, but the memories would linger forever. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Write in the comments what you think about this story.